On. Yes, welcome to the farm to table, and wow, finally we're having this discussion today. Wow, this is going to be very interesting video because it's an interesting topic. Yeah, so what are we talking about? We are talking about land preparation for working on a 1-acre farm. That's a land preparation. I know you'll be wondering that what are we looking at? Yes, so like I said, it's going to be a very interesting video. Just sit tight, grab a coffee, grab something you can munch on, and follow along on the journey. So right now I'm on a farmland, and this is, as I was told, this is approximately just a little above an acre. If you remember in our last video, we made mention that according to land sizing, an acre is just around 6 plots, and a plot is based on the dimension that is used in your region. This is southwest Nigeria, and here I think it's 50 by 100. That is common in this side of the planet. Yes, 50 by 100, and so in terms of that meters, so 6 plots plus. Now, what are the things the steps that are actually needed that must not be skipped when we talk about land preparation? Before I jump into that, this is the farm to table. If you are yet to like, comment, and subscribe, please do. From the data that we have, over 85% of our viewers are not subscribers. So please, if you are one of them, do well to subscribe now. Just hit the bell. Hit it. Subscribe right away. Yeah, we need you to subscribe. Now let's go back to our topic, 1-acre land preparation, step-by-step guide. As I was saying, the first thing that should not be skipped at all when you are talking about land preparation. I'm getting some comments that my view is dark, so let me see if I can increase the lighting. Okay. Yeah, let me see that. Yeah, please see if it's okay now. Let me know if it's fine by you now. Yes, let me know if it's fine by you. Okay, thanks for that feedback. Okay, let's continue our discussion. Yeah, so first thing that should not be skipped, as I was saying, that's the land clearing itself. Land clearing. Aside land clearing, I know a lot of people just focus more around, oh, let's cut the tree, let's remove any weed and the rest. But there is a particular part that is very important. Let me see if I can walk closer to. I saw something similar to that. Yeah, all the shoots, ensure they are removed. They are what? They are removed. Example is this should be removed. Yeah, this is a perfect example. All the leftover shoots. Okay, this is just a lump. Yeah, you can see them. You can see it. This is an example. This must be removed. If you're in an environment where you have a lot of things like this, please ensure that they are all removed before you actually start your bed making, heap making, or whatever name is called in your region. Right now, we have some sections made, but before I digress, this is the farm to table, like I said. we have a lot of information that we've dropped out on this YouTube channel. So feel free to just go through our past videos and learn one or two things. Yeah. Land clearing is very, 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 very important. Don't just hire anyhow person. And if you are the that love making use of, mechanized farming, that's making use of tractors and the rest, ensure that to a larger extent you have a data mapping of your land so as to know what kind of tree currently exists there, what kind of weed currently grow on that land. Because all these data are very, very, very important. Just don't just jump into a land and start farming. It's very, very dangerous. For instance, when we were called upon to check out this land and to consult for this particular client, the first thing we did was, even before they started the first farming, by the way, this is our second time of the consultation with them. The first thing we noticed was that the previous owner or the last person that used this land actually did cassava on the land. So it was a bit easier for us to say, oh, clearing shouldn't take much effort because we have the history of the land. So what am I trying to say? Ensure that you have the history of the land. And by history, I'm referring to you knowing what is common in that area. That's just a summary of what I'm trying to say in that regard. Have the history of the land, know the kind of tree, know the kind of weed that plant that grows on that land before you jump into doing any land preparation. Now, you have the data on ground. You know that, in this particular area of the land, we have more of trees, we have more of shrubs, we have more of this or that. You have the data on ground. And the next thing you need to do now is to map out how you are going to do the area of the farm itself. What do I mean by that? Okay, you have, for instance, this land is a little above 1 acre, like I said, and the target on this land is to cultivate super habanero peppers and tomatoes. That's the target. So what are we going to do? Are we just going to pour everything out and start planting? No. So the target is for us to map out the farm. That's why I first mentioned that you need a mapping of the farm itself, so as to know which section are we going to allocate to what. That's also very, very important. You need to know that. So I digress, like I said. The first very important thing is know the history of the land, know what has grown or has been grown on the land itself before you jump into, okay, am I going to make use of tractor for the clearing? Am I going to use hand clearing? Like in Southwest Nigeria, especially if the land is not, like I used to tell people, any land that is below 1 acre is not really economical. You calling on tractors for whatever work you want to do on it. Manual labor is still the best approach. Just call on the guys that will be available for you and engage their service. That's just what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm going to use this particular land as a case study. So getting there, what we did was we had to engage, like in this our area, we call them the Fulanis, the Hausas, and even some Yorubas as well. We had to engage them for the removal of the tree, removal of the previous cassava that was on the farm and things like that. After that, we had to do proper weeding. You do the proper weeding. It was after the weeding that we now had to engage making of the beds. For those that joined earlier in the video, you saw the guy that was doing the beds. Don't forget, like I said, we've already done a season on this particular land. We are just preparing it again for a new season. We are preparing it afresh for a new season. That's why you see, as you can see from afar, if you can see my hand over there, yes, we still have some plants over there. So making of the beds. A lot of people ask, okay, when I'm doing my beds, should I do heap or should I make beds? Should I go for heap or should I go for bed? So bed is different from heap. Yes, that's what I want to first clarify. What you are seeing right now is bed. As you can see, it's just like that, long down. But when we talk about heap is just like, let me see if I can locate something I can use to, as an example, making of heap. Don't forget I said what you can see, what you are viewing right now is bed, is bed, is bed, is bed. But when we talk about heap is just like the name heap. You mean building sands together, and yeah, let me use this as an example of what an heap looks like. What you are viewing right now, let me just use it as an example, although heap shouldn't be as high as this, but let's just assume. So you can see it's just single. It's just single. This is not an heap anyway, it's just where we gathered all the wheat and waiting for it to dry and we set it ablaze. That's the purpose of this. But heap is something like this. But when we talk about bed, this is bed that you have here, making of the bed. And that out of the way, the next thing is, yes, you have your beds in place. You've cleared the land. So what next? This is another very, very important aspect of land preparation. By the way, before this time, it is expected that you would have done soil testing. That is also very, very important. Do your soil testing. You ask me, how do I do that? Who do I call for that? And things like that. Yes, I know we have local government centers around for those that are in Nigeria anyway. You can reach out to them. We have some institutions around. I know of even some universities, departments of agric, faculty of agric. They also render such service. You can contact them for that as well. Those are some of the places where you can get it done for you. I mean, in terms of soil testing, contacting the government, sorry to say, in this part of the world might take longer time, but private firms, private organizations that handle such things are much faster, and to me, I think they even give more accurate results than the so-called, well, that's another topic for another day. So you have to make sure that the bed is well done. You've done your soil testing. Like I said, soil testing is very, 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 very important. By the way, this is one of the tools that this is the O that the guy is using. This is the O that the guy is using. I've persuaded him to get us one, but he is saying no. So you have your bed in place. You've done your soil testing. What's the next thing to do? Yeah, I know a lot of people used to see on some videos where a white material, which I mean lime or wood ash, is poured on the bed or on the farm once the heap is done. Well, one thing I will say about that is you don't just go ahead and lime your farm or pour wood ash on your farm. Doing that should be based on the result of your soil testing. Yes, doing that should be based on what? Based on the result of the soil test that you've done. Don't just go ahead and say, oh, I saw my neighbor pouring wood ash on his bed, or pouring lime on his bed. No. Don't just copy and paste. Don't just copy and paste. Ask question, because you don't know if the pH level is too high or too low that infuse that farmer doing that. So I won't say go ahead and do that or don't do that. The best approach is do your soil test and understand why that is needed. Yes, that's very, very important. Like I said, we've done a season on this farm. So that's why, let me show you something. That's why you can see here, these are the drip tapes that we used the last time. I will come back to this later, but I just want to show you. These are the drip tapes that we used in the last season. We just had to neatly pack them at the corner. Neatly pack them at the corner cost, we'll still reuse it. You're still going to reuse it. Now, you are done with your bed making, you've done your soil testing, you are now looking into, should I lime it or should I use wood ash? By the way, you can use wood ash, you can make use of lime. It all depends on which one is affordability. That's just the summary of it. Like I said, I won't say don't use it, and I would say use it. It all depends on the result from your soil testing. Take that, hold that. Now, you've done your soil testing and you are being told that, oh, the acidity of the land is too high. Don't forget, for proper planting, it has to be within the range of 5.5 and max 6.8 thereabout. If the land is if the acidity is too high, consult your consultant. They are going to tell you the next thing to be done, either to lime or not. So let's assume you've done that. For instance, this particular land, we've done what is needed, and we know that currently we do not need to lime it. So that's why you are not seeing us pouring any lime or whatever on the bed right now. We are not doing that because we've done the needful, and we know that the land, all what the land needs is just some kind of support. That's in terms of nitrogen level. We just need to boost it. And that takes me to the next question that people always ask us whenever we visit their farm and just try to explain one or two things. They were like, oh, no, we are making use of ram feces. Oh, no, we are making use, ram droppings. Oh, no, we prefer goat. Oh, we are making use of cow. And the first question I ask is, have you done your investigation? Have you gone through the research? Do you have the data that back whatever you are doing? And the answer they always give us is, oh, that's what my neighbor is using. Oh, that's what the next co-farmer is using. I'm like, no. Will you jump into river because your next farmer is also jumping into river? No, farming has gone beyond that. Like I used to say, there's a reason why it's called agricultural science. So that means there's a science behind agriculture. Please note that. Clock it. There's a science behind what? Behind agriculture. So you need to understand the science behind for you to have a maximum result. Personally, I love making use of poultry droppings, and that's why I always tell farmers that it's always good you do your research. It is known that poultry droppings tend to have more stable and higher content of nitrogen. Yes, poultry droppings. So the next question is, how do we get that? Is for us, we normally get that from poultry farmers, big time poultry farmers. Poultry companies. Let me put it that way, companies. And you have to book ahead. That's one other secret about it. Like, for instance, last season we made use of over 100 bags. A bag is around 50 kg. We made use of over, I think, around 115 bags on this same land. That was last year. And this year, it's likely will be incurring something similar to that. That's over 100 bags as well. So what am I trying to say? To improve, for vegetative state, let me say it that way. For vegetative state, you need more of nitrogen. And if you don't want to spend too much on buying NPK, because farmers will tell you that right now, to even get it is hard, not to now talk of the price. Something you will get for, let's say, 45, 50K 6 months ago, 5 months ago. Right now, agrochemical stores will be telling you that, oh, sorry, it's now 72,000, it's now 75,000, it's now 60,000. So why not go for something that is even more organic? That's why we always clamor and push that people should do what? Should grow organically, and starting with what? Starting with your manure. Poultry droppings is what we always recommend. I'm not saying you can't make use of cow droppings, you can't make use of sheep droppings, you can't make use of goat droppings or any other animal droppings. But I'm talking from experience. Poultry dropping is what we've used, and we have data to back it up. Yes, we have data to back it up, and that's why we always clamor for that. Now, the question is, do I just go walking into any poultry, pack all the droppings, and start pouring it on on the farm? Oh, why not? You can go ahead and do that, but I will say, please don't just do that. You'll be saying, wow, is agric that complicated? No, it's not. It's just that when you bring droppings or manure fresh, the nitrogen content is what? Is very, 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 very high. And if you should go ahead and apply it on your farmland and plant like that, the tendency for it to burn your plant, when I mean burn, it's just going to stifle the water intake of your plant and end up making the plant to drop down and die off. The probability is high because the content is high. So what do? We normally go for, it's either you go for a cured, dried manure, or you buy it fresh and spread it somewhere on your farm for it to get dry. Yes, you can also do that, but it's advisable that you just go for cured, dried organic manure. Yes, it's more economical going for that, because you know that it's already been taken care of. Even at that, you don't just go directly and make use of it. Don't forget, this is the farm to table. Do well to subscribe. If you are yet to subscribe, please do that right away. Do that right away if you are yet to subscribe. Like I said, data shows us that over 90% of our viewers, are yet to subscribe. So please don't be part of that data. Just go ahead now and subscribe. Yes, you can go ahead right away and do what? And subscribe. We are talking about preparation, making use of 1 acre as an example. Let me just do a recap of what I've said for the sake of those that are just joining. The first thing I said is when you are getting that land, you need to gather history of the land. You need to know the history of the land. You need to know what the last owner or the user of that land did on the land. I mean, what was grown on the land. Is it timber? Is it cocoa? Is it what did they grow on that land? You need to have data. You need to have data of that land. Why is that needed? It's very, very important so that you have an history of the pests that do affect that plant, because there will be a residual of such pest, egg, or whatever you want to call it, larva on the farm. So you have an idea of that. It also gives you an understanding of, okay, what are we going to deal with in terms of the land clearing? Because if you happen to to take up a land where, let's say, a roko tree, something like that, or a big tree, or let's say banana was last grown, then you know you are going to deal with a lot of uprooting when doing the land clearing. That's that. I also talked that about the land clearing itself. Don't just go ahead and start consulting tractors or the likes. Like I said, personally, anything that is 1K and below, I mean 1 acre and below, you don't need to break the bank. Yes, making use of tractor will be much more faster in terms of completion, but does it really worth it? That's the question. Does it really worth it? And there's been a debate now that making use of that can, though I do not really agree to it, but there's a debate that when you make use of bulldozer for land clearing, they tend to also bulldoze the topsoil away, which is actually true. There's a particular farmer, I can't remember the name now. He was the one that actually did that theory. I think he farmed on let's take for instance, he farmed on 5 acres. I can't remember the actual number now. he farmed on 5 acres. The 5 acres, he used bulldozer to do the land preparation. He also farmed on another 5 acre that he employed manual labor to do the land clearing. And at the end of the day, the yield from the one with with manual labor was far better and higher than the one with bulldozer, because the bulldozer already cleared all the topsoil and packed them at one corner before they started the whole thing. So that's why I always advise that if the land is below 1 acre and below, just make use of manual labor to arrange the land clearing. Now let's continue. Preparation, yes. You are done with your bed, and what's the next thing to do? The next thing is how do I send in water to what I'm planting? Don't forget I said that in this space what we are